Yeah, good evening everyone. Switch on your cams. Let's start off. Hope everyone has tried the homework problems. This was the first thing. So we got a block of mass 10 kg and you have connected 4 strings on the corners. In the second case, you connected to the middle of the sides. And the question was find the ratio of the tension. Hope everyone has given the exam. Easy tha? Right. We'll be discussing on Wednesday. Huh? Today night is a deadline. Huh? There are still some people writing. So if you have not given, make sure to give the paper today before 11 o'clock. And then resolve the paper. So Wednesday, whatever doubts you have, we will take at the end of the session on Wednesday. Chalo, let's start off. Next thing. Others, keep your cams on. Mridul, Om. So let's see how to do this thing. Anyone got the answer for this thing? Got an answer for this? Type in the chat box. And let's see how to do this thing. Ashmit is still sleepy. Ah, wow. Godzilla types. Let's see how to do this thing. Just take a blank, I guess. Better. Yeah. See, first thing. This guy, let's first figure out the angles. Again, like I said, it's all about getting the angles. Root 3 by root 2. Okay, that looks right. Let's see. So we got a square here. One second. One second, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So this is there. So this was the triangle here. If you see, the length of the string is also L. So this is L. This is half diagonal, which is L by root 2. So this angle is theta. So from here we can see cos theta is L by root 2 by hypotenuse L, which is 1 by root 2. Basically, theta is 45 degrees. Clear? So if that is 45 degrees, now if you take the components here, this horizontal component will be t cos 45. The vertical component will be t1 sin 45. Similarly, there is t1 cos 45, t1 cos 45, t1 4 cos 45. So there are four t cos 45s, pointing toward the center. And there are four t1 sin 45s pointing upward. Is that thing clear? Meaning on a square, this is how it would have looked. There will be four t1 sin 45s like this. And there will be four t1 cos 45s like this. Cos 45s will cancel. And this sin 45s will balance the weight mg. So therefore, we can write 4 times t1 sin 45 is mg. Sin 45 is 1 by root 2. So we get T1 is equal to mg by 2 root 2. Any doubts on this page, please ask. So the main thing here is to figure out that angle. Any doubts on this? Clear, right? Ridul, Shashwat, Devika, you were there for this before? This is your first class. So ठीक है. Arush, got this thing? Archana? Soham, adjust your camera a bit. Mridul, Om, your camera is not on. Make sure your faces are completely visible on the screen. So the second part, of people who missed out in the last 1 or 2 classes, please make sure to go through the recordings. Right? You can just ask Vimi ma'am, she'll forward you the links. They're in the site also. I'll be uploading these things in this weekend anyway. Go through that. It's a basic chapter. You should be able to understand because without vectors, you will have difficulty going ahead. The next thing, if it is done in your classes, it is fine, but still we do little differently actually. We do more varieties of applications. So you'll be able to handle it. Just go through them. Whatever you didn't understand on Wednesday after the class, we can sit back and you can ask me. Right? So do make sure to do that. So if you take now here, this thing, this is length L, this would be L by 2. Meaning this angle, if you take theta, cos theta would be half. So theta is 60 degrees. So now if you take components, we'll have the vertical components will be T2 sine 60, T2 sine 60, T2 sine 60, and T2 sine 60. These components will be like this. These are T2 cos 60. So cos 60s will cancel. Sine 60s will be left over, and this is your weight mg. So 4 times T2 sine 60 is mg. So sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So T2 would be mg by 2 root 3. There, this is your T1 and T2. You know T1, you know T2. Now divide them, you'll get the answer. Please have a look at the steps once. Yeah. Yeah. Clear with this? Fine. Any doubts on this thing? How many of you got the answer? Hands up. How many of you got the answer? Raise your hands. One. Why? Only one person. Why didn't others get the answer? Did you guys try? You should have spent at least 15-20 minutes on this. If you have not given enough time, that's a problem. Please don't be lazy. You try the homework problems. The reason I give them as homework is because in the class, I won't be able to give you more time. Let's see the next one. This one, we have 3 vectors, A bar, B bar, C bar of magnitude 2. Angle between any 2 vectors is 60 degrees. If you add these 3 vectors, find the resultant. So last time I showed you the 3 vectors, right, will be at 60, 60, 60 here. The only way this can happen is if all the 3 vectors are out of the plane. Think about it. You cannot draw 3 vectors, let's say A bar, B bar. Let's say if you say this is 60, fair enough. C bar, if you say this is 60, theek hai, but angle between A and C is not 60, agreed? angle between any two vectors should be 60 degrees. The only way you can have angle between them is 60 is if all three are out of the plane. Getting it? Meaning, if you can see my screen, it is kind of like this. Two vectors are like this, and one vector is like this. Getting it? So two are in the plane, and third one is like this. Then you can get an angle. This is 60. These two is 60, and these two are 60. You're getting how it is 60 now? So the three vectors are out of the plane. They're not in the same paper, basically. Now that actually forms on a tetrahedron. Basically, whenever you take a tetrahedron like this is how you get the 360 degrees there. So there are two ways to do this. First is a little hard way, but a more geometric oriented. The second, I'll teach you a shorter and a faster way to figure this out. First, let's see the hard way. So basically, when you got this tetrahedron, if you see, a tetrahedron is, this thing is nothing but, all the four sides are equal. If you take an equilateral triangle, and if you join them, so this is A, this is B, this is C, this is O. So from O, drop a perpendicular onto the triangle ABC. This point will be your centroid, let's call it D. Are you able to visualize the diagram, everyone? You're making an equilateral triangle. It's like a pyramid, basically. So let me show how the angles look like. I should take a pyramid only, I guess. My diagrams are bad. There, let's take this only. So we are taking from here, if you drop a perpendicular, okay, let's call this thing O, which is your centroid. Let this point be A, let this point be B, let this point be C. Let's call it O dash. And this is O. Let's make it D actually. You're getting? How are the three vectors? So you are having three vectors of equal magnitude, isn't it? So we have one vector like this, one vector like this, and one vector like this. Maybe green color would be more visible. So one vector like this, one vector like this. An angle between each of them is 60 degrees. Is this diagram clear? Now, so when you drop this into a perpendicular from A to D, what is that length AD? In an equilateral triangle, A, B, C, and if this is the centroid D, the centroid divides in what ratio? 2:1. So AD will be 2/3 of the height. What is the height of equilateral triangle? √3 A by 2. So that would be A by √3. I hope everyone knows the height of a triangle. Yes? How to get the height of a triangle in case you forgot? This angle is 60 degrees. This is opposite side and AD is the height. So sine 60 will be AD by A. AD is your height, which is A √3 by 2. That is the height of the triangle. So I know AD ka value from here. Great. And so from here, if you take this angle, theta, so theta is an angle between O, A, D. This is your angle. This length is A, that is the side of the hexagon. And this side is A by √3. So from here, we got sine theta is opposite side A by √3 by hypotenuse, which is 1 by √3. Agreed? So what we got is a different angle there. and cos theta would be root over 1 minus sine square theta. You can do this, or else I taught you a technique if you remember. So sine theta is 1 by root 3. Use Pythagoras theorem, we'll get root 2 here. 3 minus 1. Cos theta is root over 2 by 3. Please check it out. You know what did I find? I found this angle actually, theta, theta. Are you getting? With the vertical, I found the angle of all these three vectors, meaning if you look into my screen, what you're seeing is this. This is the vertical line. So what you're finding, right, is the angle between the vectors like this. No? There is OA, this is OB, this is OC, isn't it? There are three vectors in this plane. And the angle between this cone is theta. Are you able to visualize, everyone? Any doubts till this part, please ask me. Clear? Next thing. So once we got this, like I said, this is a pretty long way, but it is pure geometry. The reason I'm teaching you, right, so it doesn't, because the second method, right, you should have known it. It doesn't click. And that is the reason I gave you this as an homework. You had almost, 5 to 6 days time to think about it. Most of you didn't bother to think, or you didn't think enough. And that's a problem. Because if you don't have that attitude of fighting with the problem, right, you will have issues. So this is how we have three vectors like this. And each guy is making an angle theta. So each one is a vector. That is theta, and the vertical is theta. If you look at the components now, this would be, let's call it A cos theta. This would be B cos theta. And this would be C cos theta. So there are three vectors like this. And this way will be C sine theta. This will be A sine theta. And this will be B sine theta. So did you see how you got it? You got three vectors like this, which again form like a triangle. And remember, all magnitudes are equal. Mod A is equal to mod B is equal to mod C is equal to 2. So we have 2 sine theta, 2 sine theta, 2 sine theta, plus in the vertical direction, we have three of them, 2 cos theta into 3. Did you see what we did? The three vectors which I was showing you like this, I split them into three parts. I got three horizontal components and three vertical components like this. Isn't that how you get a Y shape? You get something like this. They're like this. I divided them like this. So you got three Y components and three vertical components. The two sine thetas cancel out. You can see by symmetry there. Each one is making 120 degrees. Therefore, the resultant magnitude of A plus B plus C is 6 cos theta. But what is cos theta? Root over 2 by 3. 6 into root over 2 by 3. So that can be written as root over 2 by 3. You can send that 6 inside. 2 into 36. 3s are 12s are 24. 2 root 6. That's your answer. Please have a look at this. Yeah, any doubts on this? Now you guys should definitely try this on your own again. After the class today evening, sit, take a paper, try to draw the diagram, try to visualize what I was saying and try to figure it out. If you see this shape, what we're saying is the shape of a CH4 methane molecule. If you take a carbon with the hydrogens, the shape it forms is actually a tetrahedron. This method is clear. This is lengthy and geometrical. Now there's a much faster and a better way. This I want you to remember. Alternate. Now this is the reason I was saying you should know this thing, meaning एग्जाम में क्लिक नहीं होगा. If you make a cube O A, let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C. You're getting how are the 4 points? If you join these 4 points, OA is the diagonal on the floor, BC is the diagonal on the ceiling, but the other one. And if you join all these 4 things, the shape which you get here is actually a tetrahedron. You're getting this? The tetrahedron which we saw here. So in a cube, the points O, A, B, C form a tetrahedron. This is a property where angle between OA bar, OB bar, and OC bar is 60 degrees. Getting this? So that means this cube, this tetrahedron, which I was showing you here, if you can little rotate it and see now, it would actually fit into this. I can't rotate this, but I hope you're able to visualize this. So this is something like O. This is like, it's twisted a bit. A, B, and C. Clear with this? So you can fit a tetrahedron like that inside a cube. I hope this thing is clear. Now this you should know. Now once we know this, question becomes quite easy. That's why I said that's a proper advanced question. So this was your origin O, which is 0, 0, 0. This is your x-axis. This is your z-axis. This is your y-axis. This is A, this is B, and this is C. I taught you how to find the coordinates for a cube. These points will be A, 0, A. This point will be A, 0, and this point will be 0, A, A. Agreed, everyone? And this is 0, 0, 0. So from here, you can find OA bar is A I cap plus A K cap. So OA cap, that is a unit vector, will be I cap plus K cap by root 2. For people who's today is your first class, right, you will find this really tough because it is tough. Getting it? The problem is the last 4 classes I have built up all the basics and it led to this. So have some patience, right? This is just the first chapter. Go through the recordings, ask your doubts in the next class. Maybe it'll take another week or two for you to get adjusted to the level of difficulty, but you'll get used to it. And this thing is A J cap plus A K cap. So OB cap will be J cap plus K cap by root 2. OC bar will be AI cap plus A J cap. OC cap will be, I hope everyone remembers how to do the unit vector. I cap plus J cap by root 2. Got this? Now, what is the question? Let's get back to the question. The question is, we have vectors of magnitude 2. So mod A bar, mod B bar, mod C bar is 2. You want to find A bar. So A bar is nothing but 2 times OA cap. B bar is nothing but 2 times OB cap. Isn't that how you find the magnitude? Magnitude into the unit vector will give you the full vector direction. C bar is 2 into OC cap. So A bar plus B bar plus C bar will be 2 times, just add all that, I plus K by root 2. j plus k by root 2, I plus j by root 2. This would be root 2 into 2 times I plus j plus k. The magnitude of this a plus b plus c is 2 root 2 into root over I ka component, j ka coefficient and k ka coefficient. 2 root 2 into root 3, 2 root 6. Same answer. But this will make your life much easy if you know actually what you're doing. That is previous one is pure geometry. This is pure vectors. Did you get what I did? I found this unit vector that will give you the direction, but you said the vector ka magnitude is 2. So I took 2 times OA cap, I took 2 times OC cap, 2 times OB cap. I got 3 vectors with magnitude 2 and the angle 60 degrees. Now I added them. I got this, and then I got the resultant magnitude of it, because that's what you asked. Do have a look at this page. All got this? Brijesh, Archana, clear with this? Om, clear. Shashwat, Mridul, Soham, Kaushambi, got this thing? Now, the same question, I'll give you homework, you guys try. 3 vectors. A bar, B bar, C bar. Have angle 60 degrees between each other. Mod A bar is 2, mod B bar is 4, mod C bar is 6. Find magnitude of the vector A bar plus 2B bar plus 3C bar. I'll do one thing, but I can make this 3 and make this 4. So this I will leave it to your homework. Now you try. I showed you for ABC ka magnitudes. I just changed it a bit. You have to use a second method. This will save you a lot of time. The alternate method will give you the idea. So I taught you how to do, but again, I'm telling you, spend some time. You have time till Thursday. Take some half an hour, nothing. You can sit, understand everything and try to do. It is worth it. The main important thing, it will teach you how to visualize stuff. Clear with this question, everyone? So that I will leave it as a homework. You will give it a try. Like I said, resolution of vectors was the most complex one. After that, it is fine. We have that dot and cross is important, but you will understand. We'll be wrapping up the chapter by next week anyways, and then we will start off with calculus. Let's go ahead. Next thing. Any doubt so far, please ask me. Everyone should definitely try this thing again on your own. Don't think like I listened, I understood. You understood, but you don't know how to do the problem. Same problem comes in the exam, you leave it and come next week. Everyone wrote the paper, right? Most of you did it. Anyone who didn't give the paper yet? Okay, you two are new, so do try to give it by tonight. You guys have the access, right, to the site? Devika, you have it? You don't have it? You have it, right? Yeah. So do give it by today. So Wednesday we can discuss. Let's see. Next thing. Triangle law of vectors. Tanish, watch especially the third and fourth one, right? Did you finish all the lectures?
Was the first two.
You should have watched 3 and 4 actually.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing. If two vectors are joined, head to tail, No need to write the notes, you'll get the PDF. So just focus and try to understand stuff. The resultant is from remaining tail to the remaining head. What do you mean by this? In simple terms, right? If you have a vector A bar, means you're going from left to right, we call it A bar. And if you go like this, B bar, then it is as good as going from here to here, isn't it? Think of just like displacement. If you walk like this and walk like this, if you ask someone, how did you go from here to here, what will you say? You will think he must have walked straight, isn't it? Basically, the displacement. So the resultant vector is from the remaining tail. So this is the remaining tail and this is the remaining head. And this is how you join a head and a tail. So this is your resultant vector, R bar. So this is how we write. So R bar is A bar plus B bar. This is a pictorial way of adding components. So if you have three vectors, form a triangle with head to tail. The resultant is 0. Meaning, if you take three vectors, A bar, then take one more vector, B bar, and if you take a third vector, C bar, did you see what you did? You went right, then you went up, then you came down to the same position. So what's the displacement? 0. You started somewhere, you went round, and came back there. So we write A bar plus B bar plus C bar is 0. So if three vectors can form the sides of a triangle, then the resultant would be 0. Have a look at this. Clear? Next thing. Tanish, you understanding anything? Nope. A bits and pieces of it.
Bits and pieces.
Let's do one thing, Tanish. Go for today, attend, watch finish of the two recordings also. Tomorrow we have another batch where I'm going to teach the same thing.
Okay.
Right? But only for tomorrow you can attend that batch. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
So do finish all the recordings today and come tomorrow
Yes.
for that. You talk to Vimam, she'll help you with the timings.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Devika, you're fine with this thing, right? You are getting everything? A cap, B cap stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay, then if you can move, then come tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
I don't want you to struggle, struggling understanding cap kya hota hai, bar is what. So,
Yes,
but finish all the remaining two.
Yes, sir. I'll finish them.
Sure.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Right. Then next thing. Everyone clear with this thing? Next thing, angle between vectors. This is one thing, be careful. So angle between vectors. So whenever someone asks you what is the angle between two vectors, this is how we define them. When two vectors are joined head to tail or head to head, the smaller angle between them is the angle between the vector. Let me give an example. This is how we defined, right? For example, if this is a bar, you have to join both the vectors tail to tail. And this angle is called angle between the vectors. Example, if someone gives you like this, a bar and b bar, and they would say like this is 120 degrees. What is the angle between the vectors? Remember the definition. You have to join the vectors tail to tail. So push the a bar little forward. So push this vector a bar forward, or push the b bar vector backward. You have to make sure the tails are joining. Are you getting it? यहाँ पे head and tail are joining. So this angle is 120. This angle is theta, which is 60. Sure, everyone? So angle between the vectors is when you join both the vectors tail to tail. So don't say 120 is the angle. That will be a blunder. Now, if I give you one more example, let's say this angle is 37. Can you tell me what is angle between the vectors? Got an answer? You can type in the chat box here. Right. So I can keep a bar like this, push the b bar downward. So this was 37. So this would be theta, which is 180 minus 37, 143 degrees. I hope everyone is clear with this. Angle between vectors is how to join them tail to tail. So be careful with that. So these are the two concepts that we learned. One, if three vectors can form the sides of a triangle, the resultant can be 0, right? And the angle between the vectors is when you join them tail to tail. Clear? Let's see a question on this. Last question number was 14. Oh shit, I deleted the question. I will add that. Let's see. So magnitude of three vectors is given. So you have to tell me which of the following set of vectors can give a 0 resultant. Find the angle between them. And find the maximum and the minimum possible values of the resultant. So that means I have three vectors, A bar, P bar, and C bar. So someone just gave you the magnitudes. So 3 and 3 and 3. So the question is, you can arrange them however you want. Getting it? You can add the three vectors however you want. You can put 3 like this, 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 3 like this. Any way you want, you can arrange them. Can you get a 0 resultant? That is the first question. Second, if you can get a 0 resultant, find the angle between them. Third, what is the maximum and the minimum possible values of the resultant? Meaning, if you can add them however you want, what is the maximum and what is the minimum possible value? So if this was 3, this was 4, and this was 5. This was 6, 6 and 7. If this was 5, 4, 3, 8, 1, 1. So I'll help you with one. Say, let's see the first one. So I'm just telling you there are three vectors whose magnitude is 3. Mod A bar is 3, mod B bar is 3, and mod C bar is 3. So if I give you three vectors like that, I didn't tell you the direction. You can keep them however you want. How can I make them into zero vector? If how to add these three vectors, meaning with the direction, so that you get a zero resultant.
Sir, in equilateral triangle.
Now remember, we just wrote a statement. If three vectors form the side of a triangle, right, then the resultant is zero, right? Now, can someone tell me the properties of a triangle? On a triangle, if you have A, B, and C, the sum of two sides, A plus B, must be always greater than the third side. Do you agree? The sum of two sides should be always greater than the third side. A plus B should be greater than C. So if this condition is satisfied, you'll get a triangle. So if I add 3 plus 3, am I getting greater than 3? Yes, so it can't form a triangle. So what kind of triangle will they form? Equilateral triangle, because all sides are equal. So what is the angle between the vectors? Anyone? What is the angle between the vectors? That is a trap. Be careful. It is an equilateral triangle, but how do you define angle between vectors? You have to join them tail to tail. So this is A bar, this is B bar, and this is C bar. So angle between the vectors is 120 degrees. Be careful, it is not 60. You're getting what I'm asking now? How should you arrange them to get a zero? Matlab, see, magnitudes you know, angle I don't know. The angle is your choice. You can keep any angle you want. So angle between vectors, if I keep 120 degrees, I get 0 degrees. That was the first part of the question. Can they give a zero resultant? Yes. Why? Because they form a triangle. What is the angle between them? 120 degrees. What is the maximum and minimum value? Can you tell me when will you get maximum value? You get maximum value when all three are in the same direction, isn't it? Therefore, max value is how much? 9. What is the minimum value? 0, because they all cancel out. This is all the information I want you to find. Are you getting this, everyone? What I'm asking? Soham, is this clear, Soham?
Yes, sir, they are done in the classes.
But you understood this thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Can you do for the remaining now? There, I showed you for 333. Can you do for 345? So you have to tell me whether they can give a zero resultant. If yes, get me the angles and get the maximum and minimum possible values. Try for the remaining 4 set of vectors. Let's get this. Can the second one form a zero vector? Right? Yeah. What are the angles? $90. Okay. And what are the other two angles? Yeah, there are total three angles will be there, isn't it? Right, Om, you fell into the trap. Nee, Brijesh. That's a blunder. Soham, answer. You said this was done, so you should be able to answer.
The maximum value will be
Nee, maximum.
12.
I want the angles. I want the angles. Type in the
Okay.
chat box. Nee, Kausambi, how the hell did you get even 107, Re? वो standard angle भी नहीं है. I think you're subtracting something wrong. Check करो एक बार. No. Finally, Om got it. Devanshi got half right, half messed up. Devika, answer. Type to the co-host, huh? Don't type to the host. I can't see. Shashwat, you have to tell me all the three angles, right? There'll be three angles. एक angle से क्या करेंगे? So 3, 4, 5. That's a trap. See, 3, 4, 5 forms an equilateral triangle. So how do you put them? 3, 4, 5. Agreed. So let's say this is A, this is B, this is C. 3, 4, 5 triangle, if you remember, this is 90 degrees, this is 53 degrees, and this is 37 degrees. Everyone knows 3, 4, 5 triangle values? But this is how you not get the angles. So you have to shift them tail to tail. So shift A forward, right? And shift B upward, and shift C this way. So the angle between A and B is 90. That is okay. Now, when you extend this, that was 53. So this was 127, and this was 143. Those are the angles. The angle between the vectors is 90, 127, and 143. Got it? Exam mein, this will be the option 90, 37, 53 will be there an option. You will mark it in a hurry. You'll get a -1, and then you'll cry, oh, silly mistake ho gaya. Silly mistake nahi hai, that's a trap. So the answer is 90, 127, and 143. This is how you get the angles. What is the maximum value? Add all of them in the same direction. That is the easiest one. 3 plus 4 plus 5, 12. Minimum is 0. What about 6, 6, 7? Keep going. Get the rest now. I hope you got the catch now. Getting angles is a little difficult. 6, 6, 7. Yeah, it is a little trigonometry. First of all, can 6, 6, 7 form an equilateral triangle? Sorry, can it form a triangle? That's the first thing you need to ask. So if you have 6 and 6 and 7, yeah, sum of two sides. 6 plus 6 is greater than 7. So yeah, it works. So A is 6, B is 6, C is 7. So sum of any two sides is greater than the third side. If this condition is satisfied, it becomes automatically, it can form a triangle. There's no doubt. Great. So how to get the angles? So if you see this is 7, this is 6, and this is 6, it's actually an isosceles triangle. So from here, if you drop a perpendicular, if you call this angle as alpha, right? This angle is also alpha. This side will be 7 by 2. So we can clearly see from here, cos alpha is how much? 7 by 2 by 6. 7 by 12. That's your cos alpha. And this angle, if you take it as, so this angle will become automatically 90 minus alpha. This angle is also 90 minus alpha. So if someone asks you what is alpha, you can simply write cos inverse 7 by 12. It's not a standard angle. So this is the way to write it. Now how to get the vectors? So this is A bar, which is, this is C bar, which is 7. This is 6, which is B bar. This is also C bar, which is A bar, which is 6. You can clearly see the angles here. If this was alpha, this angle is 180 minus alpha. So that is the angle between A bar and C bar. If that is 180 minus alpha, by symmetry, if you see, this is also 180 minus alpha. And this angle will be 2 alpha. So angle between A bar and C bar is 180 minus alpha. Angle between B bar and C bar is also 180 minus alpha. Angle between A bar and B bar is 2 alpha. The maximum value is when all of them add in the same direction, which is 6 plus 6 plus 7, 19. Minimum is 0. Is everyone clear with the angle? Clear? Anyone got this? Let's see more. We have still more. Any doubts on this page? Please ask me. This value now comes out to be around 54.3, it seems. I just checked on a calculator. Exam they would have given you. So don't worry about non-standard angles. Getting it? Other than that, standard angles, if you get some non-standard, this is how you report the answer. All clear with this? Ashmit, clear now? Soham, got this thing now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Pushkal, Devika, Kaushambi, clear with the angles ka stuff?
Yes,
So
sir.
main idea is that be careful how to get the angles. Get the next one. Finish off. Yeah. The D part, this won't form a triangle. Four plus three can't be greater than 8, so done. Can't be 0. So what is the maximum value? 15. What is the minimum value? Now it won't be 0. How to find minimum value? You take the strongest guy in one direction and take the other two guys in the opposite direction. 1. Clear? Whenever that's the minimum value, that's what you do. You take the strongest one, put it in one direction, and the other two weak people in the other direction. That will give you the minimum possible value. So D, it doesn't form a triangle. So maximum is 15 and minimum is 1. What about E? Can E form a triangle? Yes, right? Resultant can be 0. It's a special case, okay? In physics, right, we call this a triangle with 0 height. You can make like this thing, 2 this way, 1 this way, and 1 this way, isn't it? I know the sum of two sides is not greater than, but it's a triangle with angles 180, 90, 90, and 0, something like that sort. It's a weird triangle, 180, 0, 0. So here the maximum is 4, minimum is 0. So such kind of things, we call it as like this. It's a triangle like this. You're getting how is this? Almost flattish. This angle theta here almost tends to 180 degrees, meaning it is almost becoming flat. So it's a triangle with angles 180, 0, and 0. Mathematically, it is not a triangle. Physics may be said it's a triangle with negligible height. So it does work out for 112. So be careful with this. Clear with this question? Have a look at this. Clear? Next one. Turn in the page. Next thing, polygon law of vectors. So polygon law of vectors is nothing but extension of the triangle law. If n vectors are joined head to tail, the resultant is from remaining tail to the remaining head. So someone gives you a vector like this, O A bar, A B, B C, C D, and let's say like this E. So technically it is like this. If you walk like this, this, it feels as if you have walked from O to E directly, isn't it? Always think of like displacement. So if you walk from O to A, and then from there, if you walk from A to B, and from there, if you walk from B to C, and then if you walk from C to D, and if you walk from D to E, this is as good as walking from O to E. Clear with that? All got this? Next thing. Let's see question. We have a regular polygon here. A, B, C, D, E, F. O is the center. This is a regular hexagon. Regular meaning all sides are equal. Hexagon, 6 sides. Now here, if AB bar plus AC bar plus AD bar plus AE bar plus AF bar is equal to n times AO bar. Find n. You getting what I'm adding? I'm adding AB bar, I'm adding AC bar, I'm adding AD bar, AE bar, AF bar. If I add these 5 vectors, the resultant is n times AO bar. AO is this thing. Find n. Mostly it's an integer question. Try. It's an easy one. One, not one. Okay, we have one answer. Try. I'll give you a minute. No, it is not 0. Right, let's see. So AB bar is fine. But what is AC bar? So if you want to go from A to C, you can go from A to B and you can go from B to C. So in this thing, AB bar is fine, leave it as AB bar. AC bar can be written as AB bar plus BC bar. Agreed? Triangle law. AD, leave it as AD only. Then what about AE bar? AE bar can be written as AD bar plus DE bar. Meaning from here to here and here to here. You can write as from A to E like this. And you can write AF bar. Now look at here clearly. You can clearly see AB bar and DE bar are opposite to each other. Meaning they will cancel. Similarly, BC bar and AF also I need to write actually. AF can be written as AD bar plus DE bar plus EF bar. So BC bar and EF bar are opposite. Are you getting what did I write here? I just opened up each one. AC, AE, and AF, I opened up each one. Now from here, clearly you can see, so AB will cancel with DE. This AB will cancel with this DE. BC will cancel with EF. Making sense? So what you're left out here is 3 times AD bar. But we can clearly see from here, AO plus OD is AD. And if you can clearly see here, this is nothing but 2 times AO bar is AD bar, parallel vectors. So therefore is 6 times AO bar. Therefore N is 6. Make sense? Again, what did I do? This is AB bar. So I left AB bar as it is. This is AC bar. I wrote AC bar as AB plus BC. AD, I wrote it as AD only. Then AE, I wrote it as you're going from A to D and D to E. This is what I was saying. Triangle law, you can apply from anywhere to anywhere. And this is AF. So A to D, D to E, and D to F. So I opened up each one of them. And then if you observe, AB and DE are opposite, BC and EF are opposite. So opposite vectors will cancel out. What you left out is 3 times AD, but one AD is 2 times. If you remember last time we did in hexagons, this is A, this is also A. So AD will be 2 times the length of the side. So AD will be 2 times AO bar. And then you're done. Check. Clear with this? Have a look at this. Anyone not clear with this, please ask. Next one. Next one. Any doubts? Vihan, clear with this? Devika, got this? Confused? Yes, clear, no? Okay. Devansh, Archana, Arush. Perfect. Next one. Let's say we have a point A here. X-axis, Y-axis. We have a point A here. We have a point B here. This is your origin. This is vector A bar. This is vector B bar. It is given. A bar and B bar is given. Now, when you join A and B, somewhere in the middle, there is a point C. So C divides in the ratio of M is to N. That is AC by CB is M is to N. Basically, point C divides A and B in the ratio of M is to N. So using this data, find OC bar.
Sir, C divides AB, right?
Yeah, AB. I missed it. Question is clear? Let's get this. Right. Section formula you learned in school, remember? The distance is divided in m is to n ratio, then AC is to BC, you can find the length kind of thing. Give it a try, give it a try. I'll give you a minute. Just give it a try, I'll just get some water and come. Let's see, any answers? Let's see. Now, here we have, so AC by CB is in the ratio of m is to n. So can I write like this, n times AC bar is m times CB bar? Make sense? Basically, if you see, AC and CB are parallel vectors, isn't it? If you look at these two vectors here, this vector and this vector are parallel vectors. So from here, if you're going like this would be your C bar. So what is AC bar? From triangle of vectors, AC bar is from O to A and A to C. So that is nothing but, let me write it down here. You can clearly see from here OA bar plus AC bar is nothing but OC bar. Agreed? O to A to C is O to C. So from here we get AC bar is OC bar minus OA bar. Similarly, in that other triangle, OC bar plus CB bar is OB bar. So from here, CB bar is OB bar minus OC bar. So this can be written as C bar minus A bar, and this can be written as B bar minus C bar. So this can be written as N times AC bar is C bar minus A bar. This is M times B bar minus C bar. Rearrange them, you will end up with N times C bar plus M times C bar is M times B bar plus N times A bar. So therefore C bar is N times A bar plus M times B bar by M plus N. Literally the section formula basically. You can use it for vectors also. Are you clear what I did? Is this part clear? Please ask me if you're confused in this one. So this is what I did, straightforward, right? O to A to C should be from O to C. O to C and C to B should be O to B. I hope you're getting the paths. So I just arranged them a bit. I'm calling OC bar as C bar, OB bar as A bar, and OA bar as A bar. Please check. Anyone confused with this, please ask. That's how we can find the any vector if you divide in some kind of ratios. Any doubts on this thing? Kausambi, clear with this? Shashwat, yeah. You got that right, Shashwat. Rizal, Archana, Arush, clear with this. Ashmit, Devansh, Brijesh.
Yes,
Anyone not clear, please ask. Don't hesitate. Anything that you feel like something is not right, you're not convinced, please ask, get it clear. Soham, clear, na? Great. Devika, clear? Next one. This is not exactly based on vectors, but mostly a position vector. Let's see. A particle moves along the line y is equal to root 3x plus 2 with 2 meters per second. Find the velocity vector. This is mostly based on the position vector which we did last time. A particle is going along the line y is equal to root 3x plus 2 with 2 meters per second. Velocity vector means I want you to tell me in terms of I cap and j cap. To give an example, remember this question? The particle is going in a circle with speed u, find the velocity vector. You did the same thing. You took the velocity u and then you said u cos theta I cap, u sin theta j cap, and you gave me this thing. The same way you have to give me two something angle, 2 cos theta I cap, 2 sin theta j cap, whatever angles, you have to give me that I cap and j cap. Is my question clear? I hope everyone knows how to draw straight lines, right? That much you done in school. Y is equal to mx plus c. Try. You got 2 minutes. This we should have done in the last class, but okay, it's a good one.
Sir, can you show the question?
This is the question, right? Which one? You're saying the previous one?
No, sir, the 20th. I was unable to see that.
This
Yeah.
is the question. Yeah. I cap plus root 3 plus 2 j cap or root 3 j cap. Let's see. First thing, let's draw the line. What is y is equal to root 3 plus 2? So y is equal to root 3x plus 2. This looks like y is equal to mx plus c. So m is the slope. So slope is root 3. That is also nothing but tan theta. So indirectly you're telling me the angle, the line is making 60 degrees. How to draw the line? When x is equal to 0, what is y? Y is equal to 2. So we want a point which is passing from here 0, 2. This is the line. And this line is making 60 degrees. Now you said the particle is going this direction with a speed of 2 meters per second. This angle is 60 degrees. You know how to take the components, horizontal component and the vertical component. So this would be 2 cos 60. This would be 2 sine 60. So velocity vector would be 2 cos 60 I cap, 2 sine 60 j cap. Cos 60 is half, so that is 1, and this is root 3 j cap. This is one answer, okay? This is one answer because there's another possibility. Did I tell you which way it is going? I didn't tell you. So there is also a possibility that you're going this way. So the answer can also be V bar is minus I cap minus root 3 j cap. Both are right. Clear with that? Because the question was you're going along the line. Did I say are you going this way or are you going downward? I didn't tell you, right? So both are right. And both the vectors are anti-parallel. So I just put a minus sign and the answer works out. So particle can go on either side of the line. Clear with this, everyone? So if someone gives you straight lines, you can find the components like that. Next one. Y-intercept doesn't affect Y component. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? If you see, even X-intercept doesn't matter. Just to show you the line, I drawed it. Where did I use that 0, 2? Nothing, just to show you. What matters is what the angle is. Remember, vectors, you can always shift the lines. No? You could shift at the line like this also. The answers would have changed. Right, Arish? Basically, instead of this 2, I could have kept 1000. The answer wouldn't have mattered. Because when you shift vectors parallel to themselves, they don't change. The next one, parallelogram law of vectors. Yeah, no, this is nothing. Once you have done all that resolution of vectors, this thing looks like a joke. So what the parallelogram of vector says is, consider two vectors. A bar and B bar with an angle theta between them. So this is especially useful when they give you two angles and two vectors magnitudes and angle between them. With angle theta between them. So this is OA. This is OB. You can always draw a parallel vectors. So this also becomes this thing. Resultant will be C. So if this was A, this was A, this was B, this was B. This is the resultant angle alpha, and this angle is theta. So basically what you got is a parallelogram here. So we need to find that OC length when A and B are given. So from this we can clearly see, if you drop a perpendicular, since this angle is theta, this angle is also theta. From here to here, this is A, this angle is B. From geometry, this length will be B cos theta. This vertical length will be B sin theta. So O to C, and let's call this point D. So in triangle OCD, OC square is nothing but OD square plus CD square. This is A plus B cos theta whole square. This is nothing but vector resolution actually. B sin theta whole square. This is your OC square. Simplify this. You end up with OC is equal to root over, that would be A square plus B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta plus B square sin square theta. So the resultant vector OC bar, the magnitude, is given by root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. And what about this angle here? So this angle tan alpha is nothing but opposite side CD by adjacent side OD. So we get tan alpha, opposite side is B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. So alpha is the angle between the resultant and A bar. Have a look at this. You can note down this if you want. If you actually think about this, we did is this only. See what I did, I'll tell you. This is A bar, this is B bar, this is theta. I resolve them into components. So this is A bar, this became B cos theta, and this became B sin theta. Doesn't it become a right angle now? So what you are doing is indirectly, the vector resultant. So this C bar is nothing but A plus B cos theta I cap plus B sin theta J cap. You get the magnitude. So this is what we call as parallelogram law. But indirectly, it is nothing but the resolution of vectors. Have a look at this. The only use of this thing, right, is whenever magnitudes are given, this is useful. But generally, you cannot solve these questions with vector resolution. Rarely we will use this in physics. Pretty rare. I think you can use it, but sometimes I feel it is dumb. When you're using resolution, right, that is like a more powerful weapon. This thing feels a little weird. And that too problem, you can use it only when you have two vectors, right? What will you do if there are five vectors? You're getting it? For example, if you have five vectors like this, what will you do? Let's say there's a vector like this 2. There's a vector like this thing, let's say 2 root 2 with 45. Let's say there's one more vector like this 3. If 3 vectors also, you can't use parallelogram law. How do we do a question like this thing? We resolve them into components, isn't it? 2 root 2 can be written as 2 root 2 cos 45, 2 root 2 sin 45. So this becomes 2 plus 2 root 2 cos 45. This will become 3 plus 2 root 2 sin 45. This is I cap, this is J cap. That was easy, isn't it? Making sense? Vector resolution. That's it, nothing much. So it's not bad, but we have better ones than this. But have a look at this. So this is useful only when you have two vectors, and that to magnitudes with an angle. The moment it goes to 3, parallelogram law goes for a toss. Any doubts on this? Please ask. Next thing, turn in the page. So for vectors, right?
Sir,
Just a
हाँ
second.
God. हाँ सोहम बोलो ना.
हाँ, angle का final answer do we write in tan inverse का form or do we have to find
Yeah,
the
yeah.
value?
Meaning, see, if it is a standard value, you will find. If you can't, it's not a standard value, what will you do, na? You have to leave it in tan inverse. अगर सोचो tan theta 2 आ गया, we don't know. So options also will be like that only, tan theta 2, tan theta, half like that. So don't worry about that. They won't be testing you such kind of things. If it's not a standard angle, answer will be in tan inverse. All clear with this? Go ahead. Now, they can ask you theoretical questions on this. So when this was O, A, this was, this was B bar. So that is also B bar. This is A bar. This is B bar. So if you go from O to A and A to C, this would be the diagonal. This is A bar plus B bar. Suppose if you go O to B, and if you go like this, or actually I can go the other way around. If I go like O to A, then I'll go up only. I'll go up. That is, you're going B bar. And then if you come down this way, this is actually B bar minus A bar. Are you getting how the vector is? Isn't it? Meaning you're going back and then you're going up. So if you go back, what is a vector? It's B bar minus A bar, isn't it? It's like this. If you go backward, minus A bar. And if you go upward, it is B bar. Then the resultant is from here to here. Actually, so this vector will be B bar minus A bar. Getting how the diagonals are? So the two vectors, B bar plus A bar and B bar minus A bar, are diagonals of the vector, diagonals of the parallelogram. They can ask you like this. If A bar and B bar are sides of the parallelogram, then what are the diagonals of the parallelogram? A plus B bar and A minus B bar are diagonals of the parallelogram. Clear with that? Now, if they ask you, if the parallelogram becomes a rhombus, what is the condition? What's a parallelogram? The side should be parallel, isn't it? What is a rhombus? Side should be parallel and the side should be equal. Or there's another condition. In a rhombus, if A plus B bar is perpendicular to B minus B bar, that is, the diagonals are perpendicular, it becomes a rhombus. You can always put plus and minus sign here, it doesn't matter. It becomes a rhombus. That is also, the sides become automatically equal. So that's a condition, I hope you know. In a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular. This automatically implies sides are equal. So you can say sides are equal, or you can say both are diagonals are perpendicular. Both will give you the same answer. Clear? What is the condition if this becomes a square? If the parallelogram wants to become a square, what's the condition? This is the condition for rhombus. Let's say condition for rectangle. Condition for rectangle, A bar must be perpendicular to B bar. Right? So what's the condition for a square? If the parallelogram has to become a square, what should happen to A bar and B bar? A bar should be perpendicular to B bar. First, it should be a rectangle, and mod A bar should be equal to mod B bar. The sides also should be equal. Make sense? They can ask a question like this: if the parallelogram is a rhombus, which of the following conditions are true? The parallelogram is a parallelogram. If the parallelogram is a rectangle, parallelogram is a square. So you can play like that. Have a look at this. Clear? Can I go ahead? Everyone got the conditions? That will be mostly theoretical questions. Why should I just stop at a parallelogram? You could have got any shape. Next thing. Turn in the page. Pushkal? Clear, na? Mrudul? Soham?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Ashmit? Devika? Clear? Great. Let's see a question. Mod A bar is equal to 3. Mod B bar is equal to 4. Mod C bar is equal to C. And it is given A bar plus B bar is equal to C bar. Standard one. Find angle between A bar and B bar. Direct formula substitution. Get it? You just need to substitute, right? What is the formula? C, that is the resultant, is root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So basically, when you wrote OC, that is only C actually, the magnitude. So just substitute the values here. So C ka value is 6. Root over A square is 3 square. 4 square plus 2 into 3 into 4 into cos theta. This would be 36 and this would be 25 and this would be 24 cos theta. Cos theta is 11 by 24. Another non-standard angle. So you can leave the answer there. Right. बस इतना ही और कुछ नहीं था question में. Like basic question, just substitution. There's nothing there. Clear? Next one. B part. Let's say mod A bar is equal to 2 times mod B bar is equal to 3 times mod C bar. And it is given A bar plus B bar is equal to C bar. Same question, find angle between A bar and B bar. All these are easy questions. I'm just keeping them in one question only. Like I said, parallelogram already, it is really not that worth it. For the coming test, you will have, basic maths, and you only have till resolution of vectors. Triangle law, parallelogram law, that is not there. Only till whatever I taught you till last week, we'll have it. It is always like that. Portion will be always whatever I did 1 week before. I know I wrote triangle law, parallelogram law, but वो नहीं है portion में. This will be in the next week. Let's get this. Any answers? We have one answer. Devansh, you got it, but you're wrong. That is a weird thing. You got it, but you're wrong. Your calculations are right. You got the right number, but it is wrong. Devansh, why is it wrong? See, how to do this thing? I can write B is A by 2. I can write C is A by 3. Okay. Now go back to the formula. So C is equal to root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So substitute C square will be A square by 9. A is A square only. B square will be A square by 4. So I'm substituting everything in terms of A. 2A, B is A by 2 cos theta. A square cancels. You end up with 1 by 9, 5 by 4 plus cos theta. So we get cos theta is equal to 1 by 9 minus 5 by 4, that is minus 41 by 36. So we have cos theta is minus 41 by 36. All got this? This is wrong. Why? Calculations are right. Cos theta ka value lies between 1 to minus 1. This exceeds minus 1. Are you getting it? Minus 41 by 36 is more than, lesser than minus 1. Getting it? Such values cannot exist. The problem is such vectors don't exist. This is not possible. That means the question is wrong. Data is wrong. You cannot have such kind of vectors. So there will be none of this option. And this option also will be there. You will mark this happily and come. You know what happened? I'll tell you. This is what happened. One vector is example 1. One vector is 2. The resultant is 6. Can 1 plus 2 ever create 6? It can never create 6. So this is the mathematics way of saying, boss, whatever you're asking, that A plus B is C will never happen. You're getting? Just to take an example, see, if you just take B as A as 1, then B will be half, then C will be 1 by 3. 1 plus half, you're getting 1 by 3. It's not possible because the least value you can get is half. Half plus 1 by 3 can't give you 1, right? Got this? So just because you got an answer doesn't mean it is right. You need to check whether it makes sense. Have a look at this. Next one. Any doubts on this? Calculations are right, but that question is wrong. You can't have this kind of vectors. Next one, turn in the page. A bar is 2, B bar is 3, C bar is 4. A plus B bar is C bar. Find angle between B bar and C bar. Be careful. I'm not asking between A bar and B bar. How do we do this? What am I asking you exactly? If you draw the diagram, you'll notice this is A bar, this is B bar, this is angle theta. I'm not asking you that. Let's say this is your resultant C bar. Basically, this is the resultant A bar plus B bar. This angle is alpha, this angle is beta. I'm asking you beta. Angle between B bar and C bar is that beta. Try. I'll give it 2 minutes. Tan inverse root 15 by 7. I don't remember the answer. We'll see. हो सकता है, but I don't know. First, let's find theta. Without that, you can't solve anyway. So c square is a square plus b square 2ab cos theta. 16, 4 plus 9, 2, 2, 3 cos theta. That would be 16 minus 13. 3, so cos theta is 1 by 4. One by 2, 3, 4. No, did I mess up something? 16. Right now, cos theta 1 by 4. (16 minus 4, 12 minus, and that is 3. This is 12 cos theta. Yeah, cos theta is 1 by 4. Now, if you remember the formula we derived, tan alpha was what? B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. So one way of doing find alpha from here and say theta is alpha plus beta. I can subtract. That is one way to do. But if you see the similarities, can I write like this also? Tan beta. Now observe what happened. Wherever there is B, that will become A. Wherever there is A, that will become B. Can you see the resemblance? Aren't you simply reversing A and B ka places? Is that making sense? If tan alpha is B sin theta, then tan beta should be A sin theta. A plus B cos theta. This is B plus A cos theta. Simply A and B are getting reversed. So if cos theta is 1 by 4, what is sin theta? Again, we can use a trick. Not a trick concept, basically. Adjacent side is 1. Hypotenuse is 4. So this is root 15. Or you can use root over 1 minus cos square theta. That also works. So tan beta will be A. A ka value is how much? 2. Sin theta is root 15 by 4. B ka value is 3 plus A ka value is 2 and cos theta is 1 by 4. So this guy is root 15 by 2 by 3 plus half, that is 7 by 2. That's root 15 by 7. Yeah, you're right, Ray. Right, Arush, you got it. Option B, what did you do? Did you do theta minus alpha, kya? No, you did something else. Is this logic clear, everyone? Or you could have found alpha and you could have said beta is theta minus alpha also. But problem kya hoga na? You have to always look at the options. If the options are in terms of theta minus alpha, then fine. But most of the time, options will be given in terms of tan inverse. So then this is the way to do. Did everyone get how did I do these two? When you're taking alpha, B is the opposite side and A is the adjacent side. For beta, A is the adjacent side and B is the opposite side, something like that. They'll just reverse. Clear with this? This is a good one. And be careful. Most common mistake pata kya hai? People will find cos theta and think that is the answer. Be careful. I'm not asking you theta. I'm asking something else. Clear with this? So that is a little about parallelogram law of vectors. Clear? Then we have something called Lamis theorem. It is useless. We're not going to use it anywhere because we actually used, the resolution of vectors was more powerful. But I'll just show you what it is because you will see it somewhere and you'll think, oh, this is something new. Lamis theorem, what it says, if there are three forces, acting on a body in equilibrium. So if it is an equilibrium, net force is 0, means they'll basically form a triangle. So F1, F2, F3. So if alpha is the angle for F1, beta is the angle for F2, gamma is the angle for F3. So this theorem says the force F1 by the opposite angle ka sine is equal to F2, the opposite angle of this thing sine beta, is equal to F3 by opposite angle sine gamma. If you think about it, this is similar to sine rule. There is no difference because the sides of the triangle will be the sides. This was the same as sine rule. If this angle is A and the opposite side is small a, if this angle is B and the opposite is small b, this angle is C, opposite is small c. The opposite side by sine A is B by sine B is equal to C by sine C. This is called Lamis theorem. We are not going to use this because if you give me a question like this, what will I do? First thing, I will resolve into components in a liquid I cap, J cap and solve. That is the best thing to do. Chalo, 3 forces to kar liya. What if there are 5 forces? What will you do? Then your Lamis theorem won't work. That's it. So the main important thing is when you learn something, ask yourself, okay, this is working for 2. Will it work for 3? Will it work for 4? What happens if there are 10? So always learn a superior method. This is not wrong, but like I said, we have a better one. So this is called Lamis theorem. So I'm just telling you this because you will hear this somewhere and you'll think, it is something great. So just have it in mind. There is something called Lamis theorem. It is lame. We are not going to use it. Okay. So that is one. So with that, we're done with the polygon law, triangle law, and the parallelogram law of vectors. The next thing is scalar dot product and cross product, which we're going to do in the next class. So those are also important, which we'll be doing. The dot product is more important. It comes a lot. And then cross product also is important. So those are one important one. So if you ask me in vectors, after resolution, those two are important ones. So that we will do them on Wednesday. So I think mostly we should be able to wrap up the chapter by next week. And then we'll start off with calculus. So yeah, okay. So with that, we'll wrap up for the day, right? And do make sure to resolve the paper again. It's not tough. I know it's all just basics only. You must have done silly mistakes, right? So Wednesday, if you still have any doubts on that, Wednesday we can discuss. Okay, so we'll wrap up with this and all the recordings so far, right? I'll be uploading them by weekend and I'll send you the YouTube link also where all these lectures will be there.